Hey guys, I'm finally getting off my butt making my video. I just dyed my hair, so that's what all this stuff is here. And it's getting late, so I wasn't going to get all dressed up. So let's talk about this week. All right, we know there's been some major arrests, which you may not think are major arrests, but they are. Now, what you're wanting to do, and if you notice, a lot of the patriots are reposting things about pedophiles. This is important because remember how I've been talking about pedophiles. Anyone who's on my Facebook page that's followed me knows that I talk a lot about the pedophiles. See, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. All right, what they do is they take these children and they set people up. Maybe they give them something to drink. Maybe they give them a little drugs. They use these children. They film them having intercourse with very young children, and then they blackmail them. Now, that's just some of the uppers. That might be some of your people in Congress, your senators, your mayors, your governors, so on and so forth, stuff like that. Okay, then you have some that are just really sick, and this is just what they do. And you have very rich people who go out and they buy these islands. And then nobody knows what's going on because it's a private island, so nobody knows what's really going on. So this is why it's always so important when you see somebody who's very rich, who has their own island, get arrested for human trafficking. You need to pay attention to this stuff because this is not over. A lot of this stuff now, I'm all the time posting about large arrests with children that have been saved from human trafficking. I post a lot of these people that get arrested, not just here in the United States, but all over the world, because you have to understand that you make more money trafficking children because a child can be used over and over till the child's no good no more, then they just dispose of them. Where you take a drug, let's say you use heroin. Well, you buy the heroin, you use it, you can't reuse it, it's already used. So you can't keep recycling the heroin to have it sold to make more money. This is why child trafficking is such a lucrative business for some of these sickos, because they don't care about them. So, who gives a crud? You start them off at a very young age. This attracts certain people. And then by this time, if the child gets older, if they're able to walk or don't have any damage to their bodies, we don't even want to talk about all that kind of stuff, They usually grow up to be prostitutes, drug addicts, homeless, and most probably pedophiles themselves. And those are the ones that survive. This cat, excuse me, with the animals, I'm so sorry. So we're seeing a lot more of this stuff. Now, remember I've told you before that you're going to see a lot of people get arrested. I think it's getting ready to happen here in, which I'm talking about people that are in government offices. What in the world was that? It was wet. So I want everybody to keep an eye on this stuff. You see something, read the article. Just be mindful, watch your local news as far as seeing, somebody in your neighborhood's been arrested for human trafficking. Do know that there was an executive order that if you do crimes against humanity, that they just take everything from you. You lose everything, all your money, your homes, your investments, everything. You lose it all. And you're going to see a lot more people die of our Chinese export, the one that nobody wanted. Know that this is just an out for some of these people. Pay attention to body doubles. You see somebody and you think, well, gosh, she looks a little different, or he looks a little different. Pay attention to this. It's getting really more obvious if you're paying attention than not so obvious. Like I said, we've woken up as many people as we can. It's just more about educating. So go back through my Facebook, or if you're just following me on YouTube, you can follow me on Facebook and go through some of my older videos. Re-look at these things. You're going to see them in a different light. Anything that somebody wants me to repost, I'll try to repost. But I want you to start going back through. Don't forget all the things that we've posted about the pedophiles, what they do to these children, like Comet Ping Pong, all of these places. You even can go back to, remember the children that were going to this nursery preschool thing? I forget what it's called. I'd have to go back and look. And all the children were talking about going in underground tunnels and then coming out and flying in planes. And it was a lot of satanic stuff. Well, the people that were running it were found not guilty. But how could so many children talk about this? So we know there's underground tunnels. There's underground tunnels all over the world. So you go back and listen to these stories about children that are talking about going in underground tunnels or being in caverns or, coming out of holes and flying in planes, because all of this is relevant. Now, I went back and I talked about a little, what can we call it? Infiltration of people that didn't belong here. And they were found in some bunkers, some underground bunkers. Do know that a lot of people aren't talking about this, but I believe, I'm not saying, I haven't heard it from anyone else. I believe that yes, it happened. There's just too much evidence. If you go back and you look at totally different things that may not have to really coincide with something else, like that video of the man showing them marching in Canada, and then you go back and you look where this place is, where they're saying they were found, you can see that would easily have been able to get from Canada to these places. We know that they are in Canada. It's been confirmed by our government that they are in Canada training for winter training, but doesn't Japan have a winter? I mean, I saw a documentary on this snow monkey, so I'm pretty sure they do have a winter. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I think China does have a winter. I know Russia has a winter. I think they have hard winters. Just let me know. I'm pretty sure China has a winter. So I'm not understanding, but it all makes sense. You just have to kind of go back and look at it. We're going to talk a little bit about A.G. Barr, because some people are confused. My belief is that everybody has had a part in this movie. Some people had very important parts. Some people had smaller parts. Some people were put in position to see what they would do with the position, see what they could get out of these people. And some of these people did exactly what they hoped they would do. Committed crimes, just being stupid, and they got fired and they've got Gitmo'd. Maybe some of them have already been executed, treason. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Justice Department. People are going, well, I'm not seeing any arrests. Nobody's being perp walked. I'm tired of it. I get aggravated too. But do know that when we're going through the military, we're probably not going to have cameras in their courthouse. We're probably not going to really see too much of those courts. A lot of things have already been tried. And like I said, military court is different. You're found treason, and he says, well, you've been found of treason. You probably will be executed very soon. I don't think you get to wait 25, 30 years and come up with 9 trillion appeals trying to save your life until you're like 100 years old, and then you're begging to die. I just don't think that's going to happen with your tribunes. I think that they're very quick. I think that it may be within a day, few days. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. No one's telling me this. This is just what I'm guessing. But a military court is completely different from the judicial courts that we have here that are for civilians. We do know that Gitmo was fixed up after the Obama era. Trump went in and had these all fixed up. Why would he have done that? Anybody? Maybe because people are going to be there. We've heard about barges being sent into Gitmo for extra rooms. Why would we need that? There's also some talk about in some different places that there are prisons in very remote areas. So I believe that yes, maybe some U.S. people are there, but you probably got people from other countries going to these prisons as well, because for Gusara to take in, there has to be world peace. You have to get rid of all the corrupt politicians, not just here in the United States, all over the world. And remember, these people are signing on, standing with the United States for this. Now, if you don't know what Nasara Gusara is, you can look it up and read it for yourself, or I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking at Surfing with Santa, go through her first things where she breaks it down and explains it to you. She explains it very well. There was a Pimpy on YouTube that explained it as well. You can listen to his videos about Nasara Gusara. But this was founded when the government went in and stole farmers' lands. This is how it all came about. They came in, they took these farmers' lands. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and this is how this came about. This is a wonderful, beautiful thing that is getting ready to happen. Anybody who just doesn't know about it, please do your research. I could spend a whole hour just talking about Nasara Gusara. But know that it is a restart for everyone. Everyone gets a fresh start. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what sex you are, what gender you claim to be. Everybody gets a new start, unless you are convicted of treason and you're staying at Gitmo. You're not going to get a restart. You may want to restart, but I don't think you're going to get one. You'll probably just be there to the end of your life. And I'm not feeling sorry for any of those people, and either should you. If you're just watching your mainstream media, you're not going to get any of this stuff. But eventually they will have to post some stuff. Do know that mayors and governors are corrupt, so President Trump will use the military to make the major arrest, and when this happens, we're going to have a lockdown. And yes, it will be a martial law, but do not worry, everything's going to be okay. The military will come in, they will gather up all of these Black Lives Matter, all of the Antifa, anybody who wants to be an idiot and decide, hey, this is a good time to go burn that bank down or whatever it is, just know it's not a good time. Military's not going to play with you, all right? The police may take orders from their mayors and their police commissioners to stand down, but the military takes their orders from the commander-in-chief, which is the president. Now, you have your generals and you have your sergeant, everybody on down the line, but the top thing is coming from the commander-in-chief, all right? And as much as he doesn't want anybody to get hurt, that's why everybody's going to be locked up in their homes, so you're not out there getting hurt. But these other people, they don't care about this country. They don't care about you. They're all spoiled, whiny, thinking they're owed everything in life. And they think the way that they think is the way you should think. And if you don't think their way, they will force you to think their way. And that's just not the way it works. All right? My ideas, my opinions are my ideas and opinions. I can share them with you. You may not like them. You may not believe them. You may not want to follow them. You may not want to accept them. And some people are like, okay, yeah, I can kind of get this. But that's up to you. I'm not forcing anyone to accept anything that I think, I hear, I see, or I read. All I do is I tell you my interpretation of it, and then you decide what you want to believe, what you want to follow, what you want to dig farther into to research. This is what this is all about. This is not about me or anybody who's like me trying to tell you this is the way you should think, because I would never tell you that, because we're all individuals and we all think differently. But I do want everybody to wake up. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. It's up to you. And if you have questions, I'm always here. And there's others like me, and they're here for you too. And that's what we're doing. So please don't think that that's what this is all about, a bunch of us going around telling you how to think and what to think, because we'll all tell you the same thing. No. We're just trying to give you some leads, some little breadcrumbs. You follow it. You learn for yourself. Because until you do your own research. Hold on. What? What are you doing out there? Oh my God. What are you doing? Hold on. My cat's outside. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. Lordy. Ow. Get off. Hold on a second. Ow. All right. I'm coming. Why do y'all do this to me? Get in here. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. I am just so sorry about that. I didn't even realize it was outside. It's raining and it's cold, and he got outside, I guess when I was taking the trash and stuff out, and got out there and screaming at me through the window. I don't know if you could hear it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. Oh, hush. Nobody wants to hear you. You're in. So that's what we're here for. We need as many people to do their research, understand what's going on, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be utterly and completely confused. And, we may know what's going on, or some of you may be new to it and just now learning what's going on. But do you know there's some people out there who have not heard of anything? They're completely oblivious of everything. And some of them just don't want to hear it because they think it's just so far-fetched. Now, I'm going to give you a perfect example, hold on, of how Hollywood, the CIA, and the government and all of them kind of work together. I just posted a video that was on BitChute about WikiLeaks leaking a film showing that the landing on the moon was fake. Now, we've had plenty of people over the years talk about this, and, some people say, well, it was on TV. Well, it was in the newspaper. They said this, they did that. What does Hollywood always say? It's where the magic happens. What is a Hollywood? It is a piece of magic wood that supposedly wizards use to cast spells and make magic. That's what a Hollywood is. Okay? So you've got a piece of wood that is used to perform magic. You have a place that's named after this piece of wood. And they say, this is where the magic happens. Do you believe in coincidence? Stop it. Don't believe in coincidence. This is all together. I don't even know how to, my nose is itching, someone's thinking about me. I don't know who it is, but they need to stop it just for a few minutes. It's just not a coincidence. Okay, so if you haven't clicked on that link yet, I really want you to look at it. It's eye-opening. What did I say 4 years ago? That the Trump presidency was going to change everything. This is before I knew about Q. This is before I knew about the Great Awakening. This is before I knew about a whole bunch of stuff. I was going by my visions. I said that Trump was going to change everything. We were going to learn about who killed JFK. We were going to get the truth about 9/11. We were going to learn everything that we had been lied to. So Trump is allowing this stuff to happen. And we're going to do this through phases. This is what I've been hearing. My guide been telling me that this is the first phase. Then we'll have a second phase and possibly a third. I don't know about a fourth, but there's a possibility. And each phase is something different. So this is the first phase. When we go into the second phase, which will be after the arrest and the SAR starts, then we go into the second phase, and I believe that's when we're going to start learning about some different things. I posted a while back, 6 months ago or so. It would probably be a long dig through my feeds to find it, but there was a video, and it showed you who actually killed JFK. And it shows that it was Jackie Kennedy. Now, some of you are going to say, what? Hold on. No, she was in the car with them. But they slow it down, and you can see her reach up under his neck. Now, if anybody who knows anything about Mind Control Ultra, Jackie Kennedy was Mind Controlled Ultra. And what they do is they mess up your mind and they can program you to do things. I've talked about this before. I even talked about this, golly, when I worked at the Hard Rock, and I've been away from the Hard Rock for, 6 years now? And I said, with all these school shootings, I bet you that these kids have been brainwashed and there's a trigger word, and this is how they go off and do it. And I do believe that. I do believe that some people have a trigger word, and when you do that, they snap into a different personality, which makes them do different things. I do believe there's plenty of people out there right now who are out there, don't even know that they have a trigger word, and when it's initiated or said or a signal or whatever, that it just does it to them. So I believe that Jackie Kennedy, more than most probably, did do this. I do believe she was under Mind Control Ultra. I don't believe that she could control it. And if you don't believe me that this can happen, there is a woman, and I've posted her videos 2 or 3 different times. I can repost them. Her name was Kathy, and she was Mind Controlled Ultra, and there were different trigger words, different symbols and colors that people used, and each thing would make her do different things. And she talks about hand gestures, and that's how they controlled her. That's how come I know that there are trigger words, there are gestures, there are colors, there are things. She talks about it. She's got a book. You want to know what the book is? Private message me, and I will tell you the book. It's on Amazon. Right now it's like $17 and something, and yes, I am going to buy it whenever I get some free time, because it'll probably take me a couple of days. I'll probably read it straight through and read the whole book. She talks about Maria Albright. She talks about the Bushes. She talks about Reagan. She talks about the Order of the Rose. She tells you all this stuff. And it's happening. It was happening then. It's happening now. But it's all going to stop. And through her, I learned about Gerald Ford was even in on this stuff. And I'm like, what? I always thought he was a quiet person. Digging through that, I learned about Christopherson was part of the CIA, who was a very mean person. So it makes sense that all these actresses, like Barbara Streisand and all them, were Mind Controlled Ultra. Barbara Mandrell was Mind Controlled Ultra. She was actually abused as a child, and when they realized that she could sing, they used that to their advantage, and this is how they traveled to meet other young women. It's just awful. Joe Diffie was bad. Kenny Rogers. I mean, we can just go on and on and on with names now. There's just so much. So I do want everybody to kind of go back and go through these things and dig and learn, because it's important to go back and revisit these things to know going forward. Because like I said, all of these people, it's like a pyramid, and when you get all the way to the tip top, you've got the devil himself, Satan, sitting there, and everybody underneath them. But this is where it goes to. This is why all of us are saying a battle between good and evil, which I did with my first vision. I told you this was a battle between good and evil, and you have to pick what side you're on. There's no sidelines. No sidelines. You can't sit back and say, well, I'm just going to wait for it to play out. No. You're either for God or you're against God. And that's the only 2 options you have. There's no third, no fourth. There's no maybe. You have to pick your side. And some people are so brainwashed, and they're thinking that the Democrats are for the people and that they're the right and that Trump is the bad guy and he's bringing all these bad things in. But you're not realizing, because you have that veil over your face, that when is it okay to abort a baby? Why should we be teaching young kids how to have anal sex? Why are we teaching kids to do all these things like that? Why do they have on certain magazines for clothes, naked children? That's porn, people. You had that TV show on Netflix that got pulled off. I mean, what they do is they introduce it, and then people make a ruckus, and then they wait a little bit, and then they do it again, and then they go a little bit farther, and then they go a little bit farther, until you've got full-blown porn on TV. They just keep pushing the limits because they know you're going to forget. They know if they keep doing it over and over and over, you become numb to it, and you think that this is okay. And then they keep telling you it's okay. Like they keep telling you there's more than two genders. I'm still trying to figure this out. You know, I didn't study science in college. Wasn't good on biology. But I do know there's only male and female. And the reason you have a female is so it can reproduce with the male to keep a species alive. You have male animals and female animals. You have male mammals and female mammals. You don't have two males producing children or two females producing children, because males have the sperm and the females have the egg. And you need the two of them to connect to make an embryo. So as soon as someone can tell me how two eggs can make an embryo or two sperms can make an embryo, then I'll believe there's more than several species, several genders. I don't know. But like I said, that's as far as science that I know, and I am not trying to say I'm a great scientist. I would not say, hey, let's go over to Jackie's house and bring the kids because she can explain to them science, because I can't. I can explain other things, but that's about as much as I get. So me, there's only two. There's males and there's females. There's people who think there's something else, but they're not. And those people need help, okay? They really do. But this is how the Democrats do this. And this falls under the dark side. This falls under Satan. Is they don't want us to reproduce because they want to tell us who can and who they should reproduce, because they've got a lot of cloning going on. They've got a lot of stuff. You got people that want to come back hundreds and thousands of years after they died and come back. This is why they want to kill so many people. And you're saying, no, they don't want to kill anybody, Jackie. Okay, why do they put poisons in our food? Why do they put poisons in our water? Why do they put poisons in our air if they're not trying to kill us? All right? Well, you say, well, that's, because we have to have these things to kill the bugs. Okay, there's other things that you can use to kill bugs. And people long before us were planting plants and living and not spraying chemicals on their crops. They were surviving. So don't tell me that, because that just doesn't make sense to me. So they're trying to get rid of us. They really are, and I don't even know where I'm going anymore because I'm so tired. But like I'm trying to say is they're trying to push us more into Satan, getting us away from God. And what's going on now is Trump is bringing us back to God and pushing us away from Satan. And this is where people are waking up. And this is where people are saying, wait a second, you know what? This isn't right. What we've been doing wasn't right. I do know that when we were born, we weren't supposed to have all of these heartaches and things on us. This is not what we were here. We were here to learn. We were here to help one another. We were here to remember who we were. No one said life was easy, and even if we didn't have all this other stuff, life may not have been as easy as it is for others, because we pick our own past before we're even born. And some of us really wanted to learn the hard way. I, for one. So, why, I don't know. I ask myself all the time. But we're not supposed to be slaves. We're not supposed to suffer the way we are. We're not supposed to have all these heartaches. And going into the Great Awakening is just going to push Satan back. Now, also, I want to explain that you have a balance. So when you have too much dark, you've got this. When you have too much light, you have this. So everything has to be balanced out. So it's not like we're going to completely eliminate it, because it's out of balance, and everything's about balancing. There's just too much bad. Some people are just going to be born and they're going to be tempted and they're going to want to. I don't know why that is, but it just is. So you're not going to completely change everybody. You're always going to have some people that are just bad, and we'll just leave it at that. But going into this great awakening, people will have less stress. They're going to have more freedoms than they ever thought possible. And that's just not here in the United States. This is all over the world, people. And there are so many people that are under the Satan's control. They don't want you to have that. They don't want you to live the life that you should live, to go outside and enjoy the beauty and the trees and the animals and breathe fresh air and drink clean water. They don't want you to have that because that's what they want. They want it to themselves. They don't want you to have that because you're nothing. They don't like you. They say they do and they smile, but they don't. They don't. If they did, why are they keeping schools closed in certain cities and these kids are killing themselves? If they honestly cared, then they would be doing something so these children wouldn't feel like they're having to kill themselves. I mean, I listened to this on Tucker Carlson and I was like, I haven't heard anything. And then it was not like hours after that, there was news articles about these children that committed suicide while they were on live TV. 5-year-olds. People, this is not right. Do you think the governor of New York and the mayor of New York is caring about that? No, he's wanting to lock down more. He's wanting to take away everything. They don't care about you. And I have many friends who are Democrats, and they say that I'm brainwashed and that, no, this is the way it should be. We have to protect people. When you lock people up, especially children, and they're not getting any human contact, do you not know the psychological damage that goes along with that? I mean, these teachers are telling the children, oh, you can't have that on your wall. You can't wear that shirt. You're in your own freaking home. You don't like what's on my wall, then fine, whatever. But you don't get to tell somebody what they can have and can't have in their own home. And this is what they're doing. And these kids, I mean, that might be the only thing that kid has that makes them feel good. You know, and here's someone telling them they can't do that. So yeah, these kids are getting psychologically damaged by these outrageous teachers telling these children what they can and can't do in their own home. It's terrible. This has got to stop. And I don't care if you don't like Donald Trump, but you have to agree. When children start killing themselves because they can't go outside and play with their friends, they can't visit their best friend, they're not having birthday parties, they're not doing the things that they used to do, and they're just stuck listening to this teacher saying, I don't like your wall, I don't like the color of your wall, I don't like your comforter on your bed, you need to do this, you need to do that, and they're just locked in these rooms with these teachers on there just totally criticizing them, which they wouldn't have done in the classroom, but why they're allowed to do it on these Zoom things, I don't get it. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. These children are what is going to lead our country and our world into the future. And if we get rid of our children, who's going to do it? We're going to bring back Hillary Clinton. She's going to do it. Who's going to do it? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you were to wipe out all these children and just totally control it and bring them down, you're not going to have very wise people. Let's take our congressperson in New York who was a bartender. Oh, I heard so many people tell me, oh, she's a very smart woman. Really? Really? Have you heard some of the things that's actually come out of her mouth and you really think she's smart? Come on. Come on. Is this what you want? Telling you how to live your life, making the judgments for you as you get in your 90s where you're not able to take care of yourself? Do you want to be put in a nursing home so somebody like the governor of New York can put sick people in there too so you can die a terrible, awful death? Come on. When do these people actually care about? Why do you keep saying, no, that party cares about people. They love us. They want to take care of us. They want to take all the money from the rich people. They're rich themselves. Hello? Have you looked at what some of these Democrat people make? And then you look where they live? And they're telling you they want to take money away from the rich people to give it back to you? They're rich. Are they going to give up their homes, their cars, some of their money? Hell no. So quit telling me that these people are the good guys. Because if they would move out of their mansions. They would get rid of their vineyards. They would stop it and live in a basic middle class home. Get rid of their security guards and their freezers of imported chocolate ice cream. Really? She cares about you? Really? Why doesn't she sign and get that second stimulus out? Because she cares about you? Oh, but because Biden now is president-elect, when he gets into office, we can do it then because he's the president? Does that sound like someone that cares about you? And you believe her? You believe it? You need to stop it. Really, just stop it. So, what everybody's assignment is, I want you to go back and look at some videos. I want you to revisit some of these things that I've posted. I want you to do your research. I want you to remember people that were associated with some of these people that have been arrested for human trafficking. I want you to pay attention to your actresses, your actors, your singers, your politicians. Start paying attention to the ears, okay? Lips, the teeth, eyes, all that stuff. Start paying attention. If you see a new picture of somebody and they're like, look a little off, find an older picture of them. Compare the two together. You don't need to go download some kind of forensic thing. Just put them together and look and see the differences. And don't tell me, oh, they had plastic surgery. Oh, they did this. Just trust me, okay? Just look at it. There's just some things that you can't do with plastic surgery. And start really paying attention to everything. Take serious that there will be martial law and that the military will be soon rounding up people and we will be told to go in our homes for our own safety. Do know that. Do know who you think will be president is not. It's going to be Donald Trump. Okay, he will be the president. If he steps down and someone else takes, because he may go into a different role, because like I said, the whole world is moving into Nasar Gassar. That's always a possibility. But I honestly believe that it's not going to be who has been elected by the Electoral College. It's just not gonna happen. That person has so many crimes. And I had a vision about that family, and no one has done any research on the back part of that family, but I'm telling you, there's probably some nasty history. There's probably a lot of incest in that family. Just a lot of nastiness. And I see it all starting with a woman. Very cranky looking, old, mean woman. So anyways, good luck for anybody who wants to research their family background, because I'm telling you, there's some probably questionable things that have happened back. When I say back, going back. And I just think that it's just something that's brought down. We do know that his daughter wrote a diary and she talked about inappropriate showers with her father. Okay? That's pretty gross. We do know that his son was making phone calls to somebody in the family that was a minor, and that people did not want him visiting this particular minor. And then you see pictures of her where it looks like she's pregnant. Who do you think the father could be? Start paying attention. People tend to forget because it's not always in their face. Don't forget. Don't forget. And that's what a lot of these Democrats are hoping that you're going to do, that you're going to forget. That's why you have to keep posting stuff about 9/11, because people forget. People forget. We got to quit forgetting things. Stop it. Remember, there's a lot of things that are going to come out, and a lot of shocking things that will come out. And like I said, we're going to have phases of different stuff that's going to come out, and we're going to learn about. We're going to learn about a lot of the Nephilim. We're going to learn a lot about fake moon landings. We're going to learn a lot about different things that our government has done to people in other countries. I dated an Army Ranger, oh my gosh, years and years ago. And he would tell me that when they would go to different countries, that people would yell at them and say that Americans eat babies. And back then, I want to say it was still Bush that was president. I'm trying to think. I want to say yes. So anyways, and I thought, Chris, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Why would they say we eat babies? Well, fast forward to now, and you see where people are actually doing these things. They're sacrificing them. You had that one woman that was at the, our favorite young bartender / congressperson, where the woman yelled, "We need to eat the babies." Do you think any of that is a coincidence? Do you think that woman was just screaming, "We need to eat the babies," because she was crazy? Or do you think she was serious? I think she was serious, or she probably ate a few herself. She's probably still eating some. It's disgusting. And this is the party that you want to control your life, your children's life, bring in the new future? Are you crazy? Oh my goodness. So don't forget things that have happened in the past. Even if you can't remember, dig. Like I was talking about, there were people in the CIA and some people in the FBI, and it was a big sting. I want to say, was it under Obama? It might even go even farther back to Clinton. But they were watching porn while they were at work. And somebody said, wait a second, I seem to remember it. And then I went back and I found the articles, and it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about that. All right? This is not coincidence. This is the people that are telling us what to do. These are the people that make calls, judgments, write laws. They're sitting down watching porn. Is it still going on? There's a possibility. But just know, don't forget. And if you think of something, wait a second, that seems like, God, 10 years ago there was an article or something on the news about this. Go back, look at it, because it's relevant to what's going on today. And the more you do that, the more you go like, man, I can't believe I didn't see it. This is why it's important to go back, because all of this is going to make sense going forward. This is why I've always said history is the most important subject that you can learn in school. Because if you can't remember what happened yesterday, you sure as hell are not going to know what's going on tomorrow. So go back. If you think of something, go, wait a second, let me go back and look. You can find it. You have to dig. You have to be committed. You can find it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All right, go back and say, what? Hold on a second. Go back and look at China 30, 40 years ago, and then try to figure out how they are where they are now. It doesn't make sense, does it? It's like going back and looking at pictures of Iraq, and you see all these women in short shorts and bikinis, and then look at them today. Do you understand? If you want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, then go back and look what happened yesterday. Go back and look what happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 60 years ago. Go back. You're going to slap yourself. You're going, I can't believe it was right there and I just didn't see it. It's because they didn't want you to see it. They put it there hoping that you wouldn't get it. They masked it and they put some stuff around it and jazzed it up a little bit, but they put it there. You just didn't see it. But you'll see it now, because that's what being awake is about. It's seeing it. It's understanding it. And it's going, holy cow, I can't believe it. Because it's always been there. It's always been there. You just didn't see it. Sometimes you didn't want to see it, and sometimes you were just so blinded. You just ignored it. So go back. That's going to help you going forward. It's going to help a lot of people going forward by going backwards, then come back forward. I want to go over a little bit about Nisargadatta because this is very important. You have a lot of children that have been rescued that will need loving homes. And this is going to be from all over the world. Under Nisargadatta, we're going to have a lot of greatness coming to us. Our electric bills will probably be next to nothing because all of the inventions that Tesla made will be released. They've been hidden. They've been locked up. Locked up. Because they didn't want you to have cheap electricity. They didn't want you to have free electricity. Why? Because they want you to suffer. They don't care about you. They didn't want you to be cured from any of your diseases. That's why they just treat you with antibiotics and other medicines that cost God knows how much, when it shouldn't have. This is why it's just so hard to understand. But knowing going in there that we're going to have a lot of good things. You're going to have a lot more wealth. And you're going, well, how am I going to have wealth, Jackie? Well, you're not going to have the IRS taxing the heck out of you. You're not going to be double taxed, triple taxed, or quadruple taxed anymore. All right? You're going to have a tax when you buy new products, as long as it's not a necessity. You're not going to have to worry about your money going to the Vatican or the Queen of England anymore because that has been ceased. I want to say student loans will be eliminated, gone, all right? Car loans, medical bills, just loans in general. And at first I was thinking that all mortgages were going to disappear, but from what I'm getting now from listening to different people, I believe there's a couple of banks that are going to buy up all of the mortgages. And then you will pay through them. But it's going to be cheaper than what you're paying now because a lot of things were fraudulent. Remember, the Constitution was written one way, and then over the years, people just started doing things. Do you know all these separate departments that branch out that Congress uses? These were not part of the Constitution. These are the people that we don't vote for that make these decisions, and they stay in these places for years and years because they know people in Congress come and go, senators come and go, presidents come and go. They just deal with them for the 4 years or the 8 years because they know they'll be gone and somebody else will get in there. These people were not voted in to make these decisions. You didn't have a choice. But people in Congress didn't want to do their job because they felt like they were not qualified to do it. So they said, well, we need to make a department of blah, blah, blah. And then you have all these things. All this stuff is going to collapse. And we're going to go back to the basic Constitution. And all of these people that have been making money off of us struggling and working and backdoor deals with foreign countries and off of child trafficking and God knows what else, all that's going to cease. And you're going to have people that go in there to make a difference, to do their time serving us, and then get out. You're not going to have career politicians anymore. All that's going to be gone. No more. No more career politicians. All that's going to be gone. Everything's going to be better. You just have to believe and you have to pray. And because all of this goodness that's going to come to us, I don't want people to take advantage and think this is the best time to go max out your credit cards, go buy another car, get a couple of loans or anything like that. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. But I do want people to open up their hearts because a lot of opportunities, humanitarian opportunities are going to come. And I would like to see people step up and do the right thing and do the better thing. I would like to see people adopt some of these children. I would like to see people come up with ideas to help homelessness because under Nisargadatta, they're going to eliminate it. But it's not going to happen overnight. So there are people that are going to be needed to come up with ideas and to get these ideas out there going. Veterans will be taken care of like they should have. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to do good deeds. And what have I said about good deeds? I mean, it fills your heart with joy. It makes you happy. It makes you warm. So you do them not because someone told you to do them. You do them because you want to do them. And that's what we're going to be going into. People are going to want to do things. They're going to be more happy and grateful. And that's just going to be wonderful. So I want people to really understand what Nasara Gasara is. But first of all, you have to understand, Nasara has to happen first. The United States has to happen first. Then Gasara rolls out. And this is why so many people all over the world love Trump, because they know what's getting ready to happen. All of them. I heard even one time that Canada is going to become part of the United States. And from my understanding, it pretty much is right now. But it's, like I said, we're in a movie. A lot of things have already happened. We just had to watch the movie unfold. And it's not the most great movie at all at times. It's very dramatic. It's very horrifying. And then it goes to scary. And then it goes to just depressing. And then it gets exciting. I mean, this is like the greatest movie ever. And that's just what this is. It's a movie. And whether or not you realize that, you will see here very soon. Different people have different parts that they're playing. And all of it will come to light. Also, you're going to see a lot of people you thought were dead are not dead. I don't want people to faint and be shocked. I know we're going to lose a lot of people because of the things that are going to be found out. But I don't want people to be shocked when you find out that so-and-so is still alive, or you can't believe so-and-so had this part of the movie. Just be prepared, be ready. There's a lot of things that are going to come out, a lot of things that are going to come out. And it's going to shock a lot of people, and some people are just going to be completely lost. So our jobs is to help these others along. We're not going to laugh at them. We're not going to make fun. We are going to definitely help them, because that's who we are, and that's who we should be. I think I got everything covered that I wanted to. Do your homework. Smile. Be happy. Just know this is almost over with, people. I promise. I know I've been saying it since October, but it really is. It's just almost over with. And there's some things that are happening that I didn't realize were going to happen. But everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and there's a reason. And just because you don't understand the reason doesn't mean that it's not supposed to happen. So with that, have a wonderful Sunday tomorrow. And if it is Sunday now and you're looking at this video, do you know this is like 11 o'clock Gulf Coast time here. And so sorry it was late, but I said I'd make a video, and I do my best to make videos and explain things. And maybe I can try to do something live one day. Maybe I can try to see if Facebook will let me make videos again there, so we can interact and talk and ask questions. That would be great. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not really good at all this stuff, and I kind of mumble. I'm just like surfing with Santa. She gets what she calls squirrely, and she's all over the place. I feel the same way, because so many things kind of rush in my head that I know I want to get out, know that I'm compelled to talk about, and then I want to explain something in more depth before I go on to the next subject. And sometimes it's like, boop, I just go on over there. But I'm a true believer in, if I don't explain something to you, then you don't understand it. I can tell you this is going to happen and this is going to happen, but if I don't explain to you why it's going to happen or why it's happening in a certain way, then I don't feel like that I've done a good job, and I'm trying to explain things the best I can. And there's just so much stuff that's going to come out, and I'll probably have more free time to make more videos and interact with people more, and that's what I really, really want to do. Do you know that? I do. I work 2 jobs. I'm doing like 60 hours a week, and this is why I don't make as many videos. This is why sometimes I'm really short and talk on Facebook on my phone. Like I said, it always changes my words and adds words. It's like craziness. I'm not crazy. It just does it. And then somebody said, well, it's because of your accent. I don't think I have an accent. I've heard some people say that I sound like I'm from San Diego. I don't know. I've never been to San Diego, and I haven't heard anybody from San Diego talk, so I don't know. So I will try to do something here. I don't have a day off from both jobs at all. I don't have my second job on Friday, but if something really, really major happens, I will do my best to get on here quick, even if I have to just talk on my phone on Facebook and get it out there if I can't make a video. But I will try to get back here Friday and make another video. But like I said, you can try to leave me a message here on YouTube, or you can leave a message to me on Facebook. Messenger, or if you're a personal friend and you have my number, you can always text me. Sometimes I don't get to you right away because I'm probably sleeping or working, but I do try to get back, and I apologize to anyone who has left me a message and it took me a bit to get back to you. I do apologize to that, but I do try to get back. So hang in there, guys. Keep praying. Pray for our military. Pray for the families of our military. Pray for our president. We've got to keep that white clear light over them and protect them. This is not over yet, and it's going to get pretty ugly when we do the lockdowns. A lot of people are going to be scared, freaking out. We've got to do the best we can to calm everybody down and let them know that this has to happen. It has to happen, people. It's not because they wanted it to happen. They're being spiteful. They're being ugly. It has to happen. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to. Just know that. And hopefully one day I can kind of go into more of the weird stuff like time traveling and other things, and it'll make a little bit more sense. But right now, it's as much as I'm going to do. So love you. Be good. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. All right. See you later. Bye.